Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be with you on day 2 at Ignite 2024. Ignite is for you, and it wouldn't be possible without you. And so I want to give you all a big thanks for joining our session here in Chicago and for everyone joining us online. I'm Baroudi, Senior Manager of Product Marketing for Microsoft 365. So our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And since the GA launch of Microsoft 365 Copilot just over a year ago, hard to believe, this community, the people we speak with and hear from every day, you're really the ones who are making it happen. As CIOs, IT and security leaders, Microsoft admins, product owners, technology adoption managers, you play a pivotal role in AI transformation in your organizations and in your industries. People are ready for AI at work. According to the 2024 Work Trend Index, 75% of knowledge workers use generative AI at work. 78% of AI users are bringing their own AI. So let's take a pause and think about what that means. People are using Gen AI at work, whether sanctioned by IT or not. Generative AI is here in a big way. While 79% of leaders believe their company needs to adopt AI to stay competitive, 60% feel they lack a plan and vision to implement AI. So what does this mean to us as IT leaders, admins and technology adoption managers? Organizations feel they need to embrace it, but may not feel totally ready. So we understand the pace and scale of change. You're raising some important questions and facing critical challenges with adoption, AI adoption, like how to ensure your data is effectively governed and protected, how to manage and control Copilot and agents, how to measure and drive adoption, impact, value, and overall success. So you've heard our leadership this week talk about Copilot control system, covering you in areas like data protection, management controls, and reporting, to enable you to confidently adopt and measure the business value of Copilot and agents through product surfaces like Microsoft Purview, SharePoint Advanced Management, Power Platform Admin Center, and Copilot Analytics. And you'll learn more about Copilot control system in the coming days. In our session today, Tiffany will cover our holistic approach to Copilot management and success in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. And Shilpi will dive deep into measurement. And finally, you'll hear learnings from Amy, who helped us roll out Copilot at Microsoft using some of the capabilities that Tiffany and Shilpi will share with you. But first, I'd like to take a little bit of a detour and spend just a few minutes on data protection and governance. There's so much to this topic, and we hear it every day. This is one of the through lines in all of the executive briefings, IT conversations that we've had over the last year is around data protection and governance. And the top 2 concerns that we hear from you are around the use of unsanctioned AI apps and internal information oversharing. So we're seeing explosive growth of AI apps in the market. But when apps are unknown, they can pose challenges around data security, privacy risks, compliance and regulatory issues, and a general lack of visibility and control. To help you assess the risks of unsanctioned AI apps, Microsoft Defender offers visibility into the usage and app risk management of over 31,000 cloud apps and over 400 AI apps and counting. Usage analytics by app, user and IP address, ongoing analytics, and reporting. After identifying apps in use, tools like endpoint web protection can block specific URLs or domains, helping you reduce the risks of data leakage and protecting your users' data and your organization from unsanctioned AI apps. Another key challenge we hear most is around oversharing of data within your organization. So Microsoft 365 Copilot does a phenomenal job of surfacing and reasoning over information, making your information more accessible and useful than ever. And while it only retrieves information that a given user already has access to, it's also more important than ever, that content is managed thoroughly and comprehensively. Access to content is managed thoroughly and comprehensively. So if you voice concerns and challenges around internal oversharing, like users having excess access beyond what they need for their job, inappropriate sharing of content, or content that's out of date, resulting in less than perfect responses and experiences. So now, more than ever, like I mentioned, assessing and applying the right access controls is key to mitigating the risks and challenges around internal oversharing. So to help you address this, at both the site level and the file level, leverage SharePoint Advanced Management and Microsoft Purview. Today, we announced that Microsoft 365 Copilot includes key capabilities of SharePoint Advanced Management, helping you drive effective content governance for SharePoint and OneDrive, streamlining content management and preventing content sprawl. At the file level, leverage Microsoft Purview to create and configure sensitivity labels and retention policies, drive policy adherence with auto-labeling, and gain visibility and control over sensitive data with DLP policies. Look, there's so much more to cover on data protection and governance and how Microsoft Defender, SharePoint Advanced Management, and Purview capabilities empower you to address some of these key challenges, get you over some of the obstacles and challenges you've been kind of expressing and facing with AI adoption, and specifically Microsoft 365 Copilot adoption. And we have dedicated sessions here at Ignite with subject matter experts that go much deeper into these topics. For now, I'd like us to pivot back to the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, your central place for administration of Microsoft Copilot. To walk us through some of the advancements we're bringing into the Microsoft 365 Admin Center to help you effectively manage your AI transformation with Copilot, please join me in welcoming Vice President of Customer Success Engineering, Tiffany Treacy.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. Good morning. Thank you, Sammer. Good morning to everyone in the room. Good afternoon and good evening to those of you who are joining us online. In this wave of AI, we understand the incredible amount of work that you have underway to ensure that your organization is receiving full value from AI in a secure and responsible manner aligned with your business goals. Our mission to help you achieve those goals is to ensure that your key IT roles have personalized work experiences that maximize effectiveness and ensure that IT can accelerate their impact on business success. We have greatly appreciated your support over the past several years, and we have crafted some of these personalized work experiences, whether that's been for the M365 admin, user and group admin, the success specialist, security admin, and many more. But we also understand that AI is ushering in new and emerging roles. And today, we are introducing a new AI administrative role in the M365 admin centers. This role is designed to address the specific needs that you have shared with us, to have an admin role that's focused on managing AI with finely tuned permissions and controls that allows them to manage Copilot end-to-end without having to be a global admin. Initially, this role will enable you to manage all aspects of the M365 Copilot. As we move forward, we will continue to listen to your input and expand the role to the ways that evolve with your needs. We really appreciate all of your feedback to help us bring this so quickly to you. It is live today, so please go out if you have an AI admin and try it out. In addition to the new AI admin role, we have consolidated all of the administration of Copilot into one place. It's called the Copilot node in the M365 Admin Center. And the strategy behind the Copilot node is to ensure that we can be with you throughout your entire AI journey, from pre-purchase to purchase, setup and management, health, success, and ultimately, the ability to continuously discover compelling features and adopt them for your users and tenants. Now, we know many of you are already deploying M365 Copilot, but for those of you who are earlier on your AI journey, you can get started with Microsoft AI that's available to all your Entra users with enterprise data protection. So what I'd like to do now is switch out of PowerPoint, move over into product, and show you some of the things we're doing in the Copilot node to help you as you go through your AI journey. So here I am in the 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗻 Admin Center in the Copilot node. This tenant has not yet purchased 𝗦𝗲𝗀 Copilot, so they're using Microsoft Copilot. You see at the top I have two tabs, Discover and Settings. Discover gives me information about Microsoft Copilot, 𝗦𝗲𝗀 Copilot. If I scroll down the page, you'll see we've linked key information on documentation to deploy, our roadmap, our commitment to responsible AI, success kits, how we measure the impact of Copilot. As we create new resources, we will continue to put links here so that you have a place for your organization to get all the information they need to start your journey on AI. If I move back to the tab and move over to settings, you'll see that we have brought together the settings that allow you to manage Microsoft Copilot. And I want to bring your attention to this second setting that's pinning Copilot to the nav bar. Now, this is a setting it ships default off, but we highly recommend you go in and you change the setting to pin Copilot to the navigation bar. What this will mean is that as your users are in the 𝗦𝗲𝗀 app and soon to be Teams and Copilot, they will have a streamlined way to discover and leverage Microsoft Copilot. So with that, I want to actually shift over and look at a tenant that is in the middle of deploying Microsoft Copilot. So when you are in a tenant that's deploying Microsoft Copilot, the Copilot node is still your knowledge center. Everything you need is there. We have further enriched this with additional settings, insights, and actions. So let us take a look. First, I am going to go over to the settings page. So you'll see that there are many more settings when I'm in 𝗦𝗲𝗀 Copilot. We want to ensure that whether these settings exist here or in one of the specialist admin centers, I can see everything I can configure to ensure that Copilot works in the way that my organization chooses. Also, I want to just mention that Samer talked to us about the fact that you can go into Purview and you can set labels on your files for Copilot. Here, we're giving you a link to that. We're telling you all the settings that will be over in Purview related to Copilot, and we're giving you a link right to that. So we're giving you one place to do all of your management, setup, and configuration of your Copilot environment. There's one exception to that, and that is the new SAM features, or the SharePoint Advanced Management features that you've heard about this week. But the SharePoint team is partnering very closely with us, and that will soon be integrated here so that you will have all of the settings in here. Now, we know that there's more work to do here, and so continue to give us your feedback, and we are continuing to work to balance what you need to manage your environment and also ensure that your users get full value from 𝗦𝗲𝗀 Copilot. So once you've configured your environment, I want to move back over to the Overview tab. And over the next quarter, you will see this evolve to have a much deeper and richer set of insights. You'll see that we've brought to the top both a set of recommendations and a set of early key success Copilot metrics. So once I've configured my environment, the first thing I want to do is make sure that I've got all my users' licenses assigned. And so you can see over on the right that I still have 220 licenses to assign. So the first recommendation I encounter is recommendations of users that we think would see high value from Copilot. Today, this recommendation is based on they've fulfilled the prerequisites for Copilot, and they have high usage of 𝗦𝗲𝗀 apps. In the future, we'll be bringing more signals into this recommendation, such as their usage of Microsoft Copilot. Have they made requests for a license to their admin? You do not have to choose these users. This is just our recommendation. you can go back and assign the users you want. But if you choose this recommendation, all you do is click assign the licenses, and it will bring up an email that you can personalize and quickly send to every user that's been assigned a license to let them know they can now leverage Copilot. Once I've assigned all my licenses, I really want to monitor how are we optimizing that license assignment. And so here we've given you an early metric called the active users rate. And Shilpi's going to go deeper into some of these key metrics, but at a high level, this is the number of monthly users in Copilot as a % of enabled users. So I want to be doing things that allow me to increase my optimization of my licenses. Once I've optimized those licenses, I now want to move over, and I want Copilot to become a daily habit for my users. We all know as humans that daily habits are hard, they take time and they take effort. And so here we're giving you something called the AI Assistant Score, which is looking at the % of your users who have used Copilot half of the last 28 days that they've worked. Now, to help you enable this becoming a daily habit with your users, we've given a recommendation of sharing the Copilot newsletter. So every month, we pull together tips, tricks, new features that we think would be very valuable for your users to ingrain Copilot as a daily habit, and we make it easy right from the Copilot node for you to download and share that out with your users. Now, once you've made Copilot a daily habit, we want to make sure that you're able to see full business impact and measure that impact. So here we've provided an early success metric on the number of hours your organization has saved by using Copilot. And if you look below, you see one of the areas that has a high wow factor and saves hours for your users is meeting recaps. It's amazing to come out of a meeting, the meeting recap's available. If someone couldn't make the meeting, where they are in the globe, they have that available, instead of waiting for someone to summarize that meeting and get the notes out. Because this is such a wow factor, you'll see that our third recommendation here is to ensure that your users understand the value of meeting recap. Again, we've created content, video and learning content, that we want to make it easy for you to share with your users to make sure that they're taking full advantage of the meeting recap feature. I can send that out to my users with email, and soon I'll be able to send that out to a Teams channel and be able to track who took action on that, how effective were my recommendations that I sent out to the organization. Like we're having a little screen freeze here. So the next piece is that once I have shared this out with my users, then I want to look at the sentiment of my users. So here, I know that everyone's been assigned, I'm getting really high license utilization, I've made it a daily habit, I'm seeing business impact. The next thing I want to look at is, what is the sentiment of my users? And here we're bringing in the NPS from your tenant, so you can understand the sentiment of your users using Copilot. Additionally, we're bringing in help article views. So help article views are a great way to pinpoint where might users be having trouble, where might they need additional training. And so we're also bringing that in so you can understand the sentiment of your users. We also are introducing a health tab. I don't have time today to go through the health tab, but that will have lots of rich information about, are your devices up to date, are there advisories that I should be paying attention to, and really give you this holistic view of the sentiment and health of your organization. And while M365 is allowing you to personalize AI by leveraging your Office or Graph documents, you've heard a lot this week on how if you extend Copilot to bring in your line of business data, you can get even further value from M365 Copilot. And so you can see our fourth recommendation here is to go into the integrated apps blade, and here you will see a list of Power Platform connectors that you can connect into Copilot, custom agents, and extensions. At the top, there's some of the most popular ones, but you can go through and look for things specific to the line of business applications that your organization is using. Now, before I turn it over to Shilpi, I want to give a sneak preview of another exciting set of work that our team is doing. So if you notice, when you go up to the top here in the M365 Admin Center, I have the M365 Copilot for admins. And we think this is going to allow AI to also empower your IT team. So I don't have time today to go into a deep dive of this, but I highly encourage everyone to attend Breakout 286 tomorrow, which is on improving M365 with new innovations that James Bell and Jed Brown are giving, and they're going to go much deeper into that. But before I turn it over to Shilpi, I'm going to give you a sneak preview of 2 features. So if I go back over here, and this tenant leverages ServiceNow as one of their line of business applications, and they have someone who is their expert. So Brian's their expert on ServiceNow. And I, as IT, want Brian to partner with me to test out this connector and see if this would be valuable for us in Copilot. So I can go in and I can ask Copilot, is Brian ready to use Copilot? I don't have to go research and figure out what does he need. Right here it tells me. He needs to be assigned a license, and he needs to be switched onto a monthly or current channel. And there are links to do it right here. No going and trying to figure it out. Copilot's going to give you the list and let you do it right in context. Another feature I'll share is this admin happens to have been out of the office the last week. So they want to know, there's so much to catch up on when you've been out of the office. They want to know, what did I miss that I should really key in on? And here, Copilot is giving them 4 areas to focus on. There's an advisory and service health that seems particularly relevant to my tenant. In Message Center, there were 15 new Message Center posts. 7 are very specific to things that I've deployed in my tenant, and I need to go take a look at those. For some reason, last week, there was an increase in Outlook help articles. So that is a great thing for me to go figure out, why are people needing more help with Outlook, and what do we need to do there? And the last is around group management. I have 15 groups without an owner and 20 that seem inactive. This is a great thing for me to go figure out, how do I do better group management in my organization? So I know that's a really quick sneak peek, but we're so excited about the possibility to really empower IT teams with this technology. And so look forward to partnering with you, getting your feedback, and please come hear more about that in the session tomorrow. With that, I am going to turn it over to Shilpi, and she's going to dive deeper into some of the measurements.
Thank you, Tiffany. So you all saw how the Copilot node in M365 Admin Center centralizes administration of Copilot in one single location, and the durable metrics here that helps you define success of Copilot rollout in your organization. Yesterday in Satya's keynote, you heard about Copilot Analytics. It's enabling IT and business leaders to really understand adoption and business impact of Copilot through the use of Copilots and agents. How we're doing this is by enabling you to see out-of-box dashboards in both the M365 Admin Center and in Viva Insights. In Viva Insights, you also get additional ability to customize reporting and do deeper analysis that attaches the Copilot usage to business outcomes that you're looking to drive. In today's session, I'm going to cover all of the deep dives of the information available within the M365 Admin Center. Please be sure to check out the sessions that relate to the Viva Insights and experiences. One thing that the two of us, our teams are ensuring is that if a metric shows up in the M365 Admin Center or in the Viva Insights experience, there's data integrity and there's consistency in the metrics that show up. So here on the Copilot node, we're showing you 4 different metrics As Tiffany walked you through it, it helps you answer simple questions. First, are people using Copilot? Second, are they using it frequently enough so that it's becoming a daily habit? Third, are we having a business impact? And fourth, are people engaging with it and are happy? On this Copilot node page, you see the aggregate information across all of your licensed users for M365 Copilot, but we enable you to drill into each of these metrics so that you can really geek out on the underlying data. So as Tiffany mentioned, the first metric here is the active user rate. It's a very simple metric, number of active users over the number of users that are licensed to see the product. How do you influence this metric? Very simple. Either assign it to the right set of people that you think will benefit from M365 Copilot, and Tiffany just walked you through the experience of using some of our guidance and how you would assign it to the right set of people, or you drive the right awareness for your product so that people could actually really activate on Copilot. So when you're looking into this, into the details available for how you understand the usage of Copilot, you're coming into the experience that leads you to the detailed usage report. This is you can come here directly from your familiar and left nav and into reports and directly into usage, and you'll see it alongside all of your familiar other reports. But if you came in from the Copilot node, you'd be able to come directly into here and see the usage information. Now, we're breaking down the information about usage on 3 main topics. First, the distribution of users that are active across the various M365 Copilot apps. Second, because chat as an experience is omnipresent across all of these apps, we're also breaking it out into a separate chart that helps you see how many people are actually engaging through that chat experience. And most of you are going to be extending your Copilots through agents and connectors, and it's very important for you to be able to have that transparency into the number of people using these extensions, either agents or connectors. So this page gives you a comprehensive view of the user activity across the M365 Copilot apps, BizChat experience, as well as the extensions. And here, down below, as with all other reports that you see here, you would have the details of the list of users and their most recent activity date across all of these apps. The usernames are anonymized by default to maintain your user's privacy, but as a global admin, you can go in and change that setting if you choose to. Now, here, you saw all of the user activities associated with these apps, but in the case of extensions, you also have this additional question to see how many agents are active in your organization. So we offer that pivot as well. You can get to it directly from here, and we give you a breakdown of how many of these agents are built and deployed by your own organization, or by a Microsoft partner, or directly offered by Microsoft. So you get that breakdown, and you're able to see which apps are being used most often. And here you get to see the details of those apps, as well as how many users are active across those individual apps. And we do this even for connectors. But if you look across these 3 tabs, they're able to give you the breakdown of usage activities across once you have M365 Copilot. And as Tiffany pointed earlier, we have enabled you from the Discover page to really understand and plan your M365 Copilot adoption. But you can also find all of the detailed information here in the Readiness tab with data really available at your fingertips about just how many people have the necessary prerequisite license, they're on the right channels, and if you have licenses still available to assign out to your people, we show that to you right here. One more thing, in terms of the algorithm that we help you choose which are the right people to assign out Copilot license, it's a very simple logic based on people that are consistently using M365 apps, or as most of you might roll out, every user in your organization with M365 also has access to Microsoft Copilot with enterprise data protection. And so we bring that information right here adjacent, so you can take both of these pieces of information into account as you think about who are the people in your organization that would benefit from using Copilot. And here you have, again, the information available at the user level. As most of you have been giving us this feedback, you've requested a lot for a standalone report related to that exact concept of how many people in your organization that have M365 and are using Microsoft Copilot with enterprise data protection. So we've also included it as a standalone report in addition to where we show you in the readiness data. So this is all about the first metric and how you can really ensure you're assigning it out to the right users and driving adoption with those users. Now let me talk a little bit about making Copilot a daily habit. An AI assistant score, you can get to it from here, or in a familiar way, get to it from the usage reports and adoption score. So let me give you a quick primer on what adoption score is. It's basically helping you drive your AI transformation with a detailed about how are your workforce really using Microsoft 365 and its related technologies. And it's comprising of two main concepts: the people experience score and the technology experience. Technology experience here is basically about how is technology enabling your productivity in your workforce through the lens of your device health, your app health, and your network health. And people experiences is about how are people really transforming the ways they work through the use of these productivity apps and your M365 Copilot AI agents. So here we show you how are people using these to communicate, collaborate, meet with people, do teamwork, as well as work from anywhere. But what we've also brought in is a new score for AI assistant score that helps you really understand if Copilot is becoming a daily habit for your users. And so drilling into it, we want to show you how the score is computed. Very simple. It's basically the percentage of your users that are actually making Copilot, using Copilot at least 50% of the last 28 working days. What this means is here you're seeing a trend of the score, as well as in the gray bar, we're actually showing you how peers are that are either with the same M365 SKU mix or tenure within Microsoft 365 or region and industry, how are they performing with respect to their adoption of the AI technologies. We offer you a very simple histogram here that helps you see the distribution of your users that are using it for the number of days. And we give you detailed information about the features across the various apps of where people are spending time and deriving value from Copilot. So here you can see information about Teams, meetings, and chats. It's not just about how many people are using it, but also the various features under it, like summarization of meetings or rewriting messages, intelligent recap. Similarly, we break that down across documents, email, BizChat. If your users are leveraging Copilot prompt galleries to really understand how to use Copilot and how to tailor their prompts, we're also giving that information to you here. And of course, bringing that agents and extensions through connectors in the same view. So again, all of this information in one, but the difference between usage reports and here is that we really drill into the feature level usage so you can understand the depths of how people are using it. One interesting capability to walk you through here is that you can now filter all of these metrics by not just for looking at your entire org, but also looking at the various org attributes like departments, company, and region. So you could literally just filter in here and say, show me everything that's related to the sales department and see how the score changes, as well as all of the detailed feature metric. Now, why are we giving you all of these insights? The information is there for you to be able to really take action and drive those behaviors and transformation within your org. And here, we're not just leaving you with the insights, but also enabling you to take actions through a new capability called org messages, organizational messages. And so we have made these available to you directly accessible from here. And what it does is basically allow you to really reach your users in the flow of their work with a gentle nudge about new capabilities to raise awareness and link them to the right learning resources. So here, you have an inline experience that's a really quick way for you to configure the message. You're able to choose from a few pre-made template messages that we offer you with links to support articles that allow people to see and get more information. And you're able to actually pop this message directly on your Windows notification center, or we have many more surfaces, and I'll deep dive into it in just a little bit. But you can actually choose to show this on your Windows notification center. These are all the people on Windows that have not yet used Copilot features, so it's tied, the targeting is very much tied. You can make it very contextual and only nudge those people that haven't started using capabilities that you want. And then you can set the start and end date of such a message and a frequency. You want to show this nudge only once a month. You really don't want to, over spam your users, so you can get to be very selective on the frequency of this message, and then you schedule this message. Now, when you typically run an awareness campaign in your organization, I bet you want to understand, did it have an impact? And so that's the benefit of running a campaign through organizational message, because we tie the reporting back for you to say, did this awareness campaign really have an impact? And so you see that directly into organizational message. Now again, this is a new capability. We have released this in preview, and it's been there for a couple of months now. We've been receiving a lot of good feedback. This week, this capability is now going to be available is generally available this week. And the big changes we've made from the time that we were in preview, we heard your feedback, and we have brought the ability for you to communicate with your users, not just in Windows 11, but also in Windows 10. What this does is, again, we have many more surfaces, Windows 10, Windows 11, Teams, Office apps. You can create your own message. So in the previous experience, you saw how you were using a pre-made templatized message, and you were pushing it on the Windows surface. Here you can come and really just craft that message on your own, and you can get flexible ways of targeting your audience. And you would use this feature for multiple reasons, one of which could be to drive adoption, but it could also be for any other messaging that you want to reach your users in the flow. So let me walk you through an experience here where you're trying to create a message from scratch. And you would come here and choose an objective, like what is it that this message is about? Is it about driving adoption? You want to onboard your new users? There's a lot of different categories of messaging that you do. Let's take an example of adoption. Here, you're able to now see what are the various surfaces that are available to you to be able to place a message. In the Windows notification or taskbar in Teams, Windows Spotlight. And all of these, you would choose the type of surface based on the type of category of message that you're really trying to do. So let's say I'm trying to drive messaging awareness about use of agents within Teams. I would click on the Teams surface, click Next, and I want to actually craft this message on my own instead of using pre-made templates that I showed you on the previous experience. So when I come here, I can give it my own body, a title and a full body, and then also link to the right help articles or the right click-through targets. These could be even to your own internal learning materials. And it gives me a preview here so I can see how the information would show up for my users. I click Next, and I want to really create the right targeting for this message. Again, it is created as a means for you to not over-spam your users, but be very targeted. Now imagine if I wanted to actually send a message in Teams for users that have not used agents. I'm giving you that ability to pick. Show me all the users in my company who have not used agents. Now this allows me to be very targeted, and I can also exclude users in a way that I say, hey, don't show this to any exec, just to all my users. And I can flexibly configure this. I could give it a friendly name. I could set a start date and end date, and boom. I'm ready to review this capability. And now the one new feature we've added is basically created an ability to approve. Because these are custom messages, we want to make sure that people are able to approve the message before it goes out to your users. And so we send it for approval. The approval goes to a person with an org message approval role, and they're able to approve these messages directly, either in email or come back to the UI and do it. Once that is done, you're able to come and see that, yes, this message is pending approval, and they can get insights on other messages that are active in the system and are being seen by users and clicked. So with that, I've given you a whirlwind of all the capabilities that helps you measure and drive adoption. Closing with the last point on the the business impact metric, you can see the high-level information about the number of hours that people are getting assisted by Copilot directly here, but you can click through into the complete experience within Viva Insights that allows you to further drill into org attributes as well as perform analysis directly with respect to your business outcomes. So with that, I'm actually now going to invite Amy to talk to you about how Microsoft has used all of this to drive Copilot within our organization. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗸𝗶𝗸𝗀, and I'm an M365 Success Specialist at Microsoft. I sit in the Microsoft Digital Team, which is Microsoft's IT organization. We're responsible to power, protect, and transform the digital employee experience at Microsoft. We also create the blueprint for our customers and partners on how to use Microsoft products. Microsoft Digital manages a complex digital environment. We govern 195,000 teams, 711,000 SharePoint sites, and 700 million Teams minutes per month. We're also the first and best customer of M365 Copilot. We've licensed over 300,000 of our employees and vendors, and we have 2.9 million Copilot chat queries per month. In MS Digital, we've learned that the success of any product deployment is change and adoption management. The industry estimates that 4 out of 10 employees do not support change, and 53% of change initiatives fail. That's why we use the industry best practices of the M365 adoption framework, which is available on adoption.microsoft.com. There's 4 phases of this framework. The first phase is get ready, and there's a very important step to define your success criteria. Now we can look at how we define success of Copilot at Microsoft. We use the success pyramid, and you can see that many of the concepts of this pyramid are reflected in the new Copilot page in the Admin Center that you just saw. We start at the bottom of the pyramid with things that are easier to measure, like your number of adoption activities and the reach of those activities. A great way to do this is the organizational messages that Shilpi just showed you. Then we move up the pyramid, and we want to know, are the target users using the product? We did a phased rollout of Copilot at Microsoft. So we started our journey using the license utilization rate as a success measure. We've now moved to more detailed measures like the AI assistant score. Next step of the pyramid, we want to understand, are our users happy? 76% of Microsoft users are satisfied with Copilot, which is more satisfaction than we have with any product. And then the last step of the pyramid are these things that are harder to measure, the lagging indicators. We want to understand, is our product delivering business value to our users? For this phase, we go out to the Viva Insights report for more detailed analysis, and we use the Copilot assisted hours to help us do this. Now I'll go through 3 of the activities that we did at Microsoft. The first is that we knew we needed to give confidence to our users on how to use AI, but many of our employees say they have a hard time finding time for learning. So we did a simple tip of the week called the Did You Know campaign. Some of our templates are available in the How Microsoft Deployed Copilot in 4 chapters, which is available with this QR code on this slide. Org Messages is, again, a great way to deliver these tips of the week. We also know that we had a very high success rate with live trainings. We recently did a 3-day training camp over 2 weeks with a fun theme called Camp Copilot that really kept our users engaged. We did gamification through badges. We had post-session activities and a very fun campfire-style sharing session to reinforce what people learned. We saw a 3% increase in AI assistant score from this event. And then lastly, we know that Copilot, the learning had to be personal. So we created hero scenarios. We worked with top role owners and organizational leaders in our company to understand the top jobs to be done and how they could use Copilot to help. Some of these hero scenarios on our adoption.microsoft.com, you can access with the QR code here. Again, using the Copilot assisted hours filtered by organizations that you created hero scenarios for is a great way to measure success. And I'll pass it back to Sam to close this out. Thanks, Sam.
Check. All right. Thank you so much for being with us in this session today. Amy, that was really wonderful. It's great to see how Microsoft internally is using some of the tools and capabilities that Tiffany and Shilpi shared with us today. We saw a lot of things. The Copilot page, your central place for managing your Microsoft 365 Copilot deployment, from key metrics to the core settings and links out to the other surfaces that are going to help you effectively manage all those aspects that we talked about and will be continuing to talk about in the Copilot control system. Tiffany walked you through the Copilot page. Shilpi walked you through the robust reporting that we have and messaging capabilities to help you measure, not only measure, but also drive Microsoft 365 Copilot adoption in your organization. And we heard from Amy on how she's currently, her team, Microsoft Digital, is currently using those tools and exploring the forthcoming ones that we've announced and will be shipping over the coming weeks. I want to say thanks again for questions. We're up on time, so no Q&A in this particular session, but please come to our booth at Microsoft 365 Administration, right there by the massive Copilot sign that we all are taking our photos, including myself with today and this week. Well, thank you again. It's been wonderful being with you today, and have a great rest of your week at Ignite. Thank you.